Hier ist wieder eine Folge unseres Crowdfunding-Formats Shut Up and Take My Money. Wir haben 4 Themen rausgepickt, los geht's. Die Idee hinter Heroes of Barcadia ist so simpel wie bescheuert oder genial, je nach Sichtweise. Es handelt sich um einen kompetitiven Dungeon Crawler, dessen Gewölbe zufällig mit Hexfeldern dargestellt werden, die dann erkundet, also dessen Plättchen umgedreht werden. Unterwegs gibt's Monster und Power-Ups auf der Suche nach dem geklauten Alkohol des Dorfs und die Lebensenergie jedes Charakters wird durch ein Getränk dargestellt. Wer Hitpoints verliert, muss also trinken und wessen Becher leer ist, der verliert. Es ist also D&D PvP als Trinkspiel. Es wundert hier vermutlich nicht, dass Heroes of Barcadia bereits über 600.000 € eingespielt hat zum Zeitpunkt, wo wir das hier schreiben. Wir sind uns aber sicher, da muss man nicht unbedingt Bacardi im Becher haben, so eine gute Apfelschorle tut's sicher auch. Der Trailer von Not the End schreit förmlich Style over Substance und das sauber weiße Cover des Buches unterstützt diesen Eindruck noch. Dennoch hat die italienische Version auf der Lucca Convention den Spiel des Jahrespreis eingeheimst, es muss also doch was dran sein. Das Crowdfunding bezieht sich auf die englische Version. Beim Rollenspiel Not the End wird der Heldenbogen aus vielen Hexfeldern zusammengesetzt, die allesamt bestimmte Eigenschaften der Figur enthalten und wie diese Hexes miteinander verknüpft sind, hat Auswirkungen auf ihre Umsetzung und Bedeutung. Als Beispiel wird genannt, dass das Feld Criminal Mind etwas ganz anderes neben Investigator bedeutet als neben Sadist. Die Art von Geschichten, die hier erzählt werden sollen, ist für dieses Spiel wichtiger als das spezielle Genre und so fühlt sich das Projekt fast eher wie ein Erzählspiel an. Dass auf der Projektseite nicht wirklich griffig erklärt wird, wie das Spiel funktioniert, ist vielleicht der Grund dafür, dass This Is Not the End zwar erfolgreich gefundet ist, aber bisher noch nicht durch die Decke geht. Dr. Grandes Kompendium der Kreaturen, Gewächse und Tränke ist eine systemneutrale Sammlung von eben diesen Dingen, die es im Titel trägt. Die Crowdfunding-Seite auf Game on Tabletop verrät gar nicht so viel über das Projekt, aber Grandes Kompendium liefert bereits zum Beispiel auf Instagram jede Menge extrem albern putzige Bilder von Monstern und Gadgets zur Nutzung am Spieltisch. Mein Favorit ist die Wollküre. Dazu gibt es minimalistische Werte als groben Richtwert, was das Viech oder Ding so kann. Wir haben zum gedruckten Werk einen Prototyp zugeschickt bekommen und dieser enthält schon jede Menge herzallerliebste Völker und Monster, außerdem ein paar Tränke und Pflanzen. Die Ideen reichen von naheliegend bis total bescheuert, aber sie sind immer knuffig und fabelhaft illustriert. Das Kompendium sieht sich selbst als Fundgrube an Ideen für jedes Rollenspiel und ist absolut hochwertig gestaltet. Die Kampagne auf Game on Tabletop läuft noch bis zum 18. Juli. Vor ein paar Jahren war Animal Adventures Dungeons and Doggies eines der ersten Third-Party-Module für D&D 5, in denen man niedliche Viecher, in diesem Fall eben Hunde, spielen konnte. Es gab ein paar Minis und dazu eher als Dreingabe PDFs. Und es gab sehr viel Erfolg. 3 Jahre später ist Animal Adventures eine Marke von Steamforged Games und mit The Faraway startet am 20. Juli die Kickstarter-Kampagne für eine Erweiterung mit einem ganz neuen Setting, neuen Abenteuern und vor allem jeder Menge neuer niedlicher Tierminiaturen. Maigi hat den Entwicklern dazu ein paar Fragen gestellt.
Is kind of a follow-up and a major expansion to the Animal Adventures universe, in which your animal adventurers get to go out into this great ocean where there's this magical storm, this magical vortex, out of which occasionally emerge islands with strange supernatural effects and powers generated by the core of the island, its spirit, which we're the spirit of the place, the essence of the island, the genius loci. And obviously, who doesn't like cool magic items? All animals do. My cats do. All animals do. As you'd expect, nearby this magical storm where you can get awesome stuff, a floating city, which you can see just behind Russ. You can see some of the concept art for Flotsam. Has grown up, which is basically loads of old lashed together ships and detritus that's floated out, and this kind of this community of explorers and treasure hunters and bandits has grown up there, and they go out into the mysteries of the Faraway Sea to see what they can discover. And that's basically what we're bringing. We're bringing a source book, which gives you all the details on that. It's got adventures, plot hooks, island write-ups, and most importantly, new rules for the awesome new animal miniatures we're bringing.
Okay, so far we've had with the other 2 installments of Animal Adventures, we've had cats and dogs, because who doesn't like cats and dogs? You're going a little bit more exotic with this one, so things you might not have as your house pet.
Yes, that's there are a few animals that you might consider as pets, but there's definitely a few that you probably wouldn't. We decided that we really wanted to expand the setting, and one of the sort of underlying themes within the book is whatever mysterious power is creating these strange swirling mists that lead through to the islands might also be responsible for more and more animals developing awakened senses and becoming keen on taking up the adventuring life and becoming the heroes of their own stories. So to that end, we've designed a large group. I think we're at sort of between 10 and 12 entirely new animal characters that aren't dogs or cats. We're doing more cats and dogs as well, because of course we are. But yeah, we've tried to create a really interesting spread of animals, and Richard's team is producing a whole section in the book which will give you playable rules for everything from we've got bird characters, we've got a very cool little otter who's probably one of my favorites.
Wait, a sea otter or a freshwater otter?
Well, we planned him to be a sea otter, but he's kind of got a freshwater otter vibe. In fact, if you like, I can share my screen and we can take a look at him.
Oh yes, I'd very much like to see that.
1 second.
When you do see him, you'll think, that's a freshwater otter.
Because he's got that freshwater vibe.
Right.
That's not an otter.
That is not an otter. Bonus character. This is Harmony. This is our alpaca. She's a bard.
She's a freshwater alpaca.
She's a freshwater alpaca, yes. You can tell by the lack of fins. She's got she was designed to have a sort of disco vibe. So her magic item is this sort of crystal that acts like a glitter ball and encourages people to dance and have a good time.
She's also got a very 70s hairstyle.
She does have a very 70s hairstyle, and the concept art. She was designed by the wonderful and talented April Prime, who has returned to give us more amazing characters. And the artwork is, the whole thing is in these warm 70s colours, and it just has this fantastic kind of disco vibe. So this is our otter, who I believe we're naming Osric. He is a cleric, and he's going to serve as our sort of narrator character for the campaign. And in my head, he has the same sort of vibe as Sir Didymus out of the Labyrinth movies. He's got that kind of.
He's got the moustache.
Absolutely, yes.
Sir Didymus. Very fitting. And yes, he's got a freshwater vibe looking at his.
He does have a freshwater vibe, doesn't he? Okay, so this one's a lot of fun. This is our rabbit, who is he's a monk, in case there was any doubt at all. Which is designed by the amazingly talented Tom Lishman on our sculpting team, who's done an absolutely fantastic job. And this is one of the, along with some of the other models, one of the things that we always try to do with the range is try and make sure the models are plausibly still just the animals that they were. So we studied a group of photographs of rabbits jumping and using their back legs to see off aggressors, and make sure that the pose that we went for was actually something that a rabbit could do. Because just as with our cats and dogs, these animals are still meant to be animals. They're not meant to be little humanoids with animal heads. They're still meant to be quadrupeds or what have you, depending on which animal it is. So that's our rabbit monk. And then, this is a fun one. This is our paladin.
That's an ibex, right?
It is. It is.
Excellent animal eye.
And this animal has has a companion animal who I'm not going to show right now. But when you see the two of them together, there's a definite nod to a classic wandering warrior and his ward. And I shall say no more about that at this time. But
I guess it might be a cub.
It might be something quite small and yes, young. And there didn't seem to be a better animal choice for a mechanical artificer than an orangutan. So this is our artificer,
and our little Terry Pratchett tribute,
and our little tribute to the great and much missed Mr. Pratchett. Yes.
So he loves libraries.
As always, we're going to have a Kickstarter exclusive for our backers. And it's I said to Tom that we needed a baby Kraken model. And Tom being Tom, he dialed it up to 11. So we have a baby Kraken driving around in a little wagon so he can keep nice and moist because it's full of water. And I think he's working as a sushi chef by the looks of it. But this is our baby Kraken, who's a delightful little chap.
Okay, let's talk a little bit about how these guys are going to be playable and how you get them. So you've got rule sets for the new awakened animals, and just quickly, you said those are not like anthropomorphic animals; those are just animals who have been awakened in some kind of way. And I've always wondered, by the way, how the dog always used the swords.
A wizard did it.
A wizard did it. That's a very good explanation. I can very much imagine how the orangutan would use his tools, though.
I always think that if you're asking too many questions about that, then maybe this isn't the game for you.
Important point. So this is all meant to be integrated into 5th edition.
It does, yes.
And so the idea is that you can drop other characters into an animal adventure game, or put, if the GM is happy with it, or play an awakened animal in another Dungeons and Dragons game. That's nice.
Yeah, one of the key things about Animal Adventures is that this is to be integrated into. You could use this in a Forgotten Realms game. You could use these rules in, if you wanted to, I don't know, if you go really old school and you want to play in Greyhawk, you could have animal adventurers in any 5e game. Now, obviously, we've got the Animal Adventures world and we think it's wonderful and we'd love you to come and explore in it. But if you wanted to, you could take these rules and you could play an awakened animal that you just happen to meet in any dungeon. You know, wandering along the Sword Coast, there's an alpaca who happens to be able to talk, and you could happily go to Baldur's Gate with this talking alpaca and be the talk of the town.
With the talking, dancing bard alpaca.
Talking, dancing disco alpaca.
And you said, we are going to talk about how many miniatures, how many of these basically pre-generated animal characters are going to be part of the set you're producing. How many are you looking for?
So, with this set, we're looking at about 23 core models in the set. Now, Gullet Cove, which I thought I had a copy of to hand, I do. Gullet Cove, I don't know if
which was the second installment of
Animal Adventures? And that was our first core book and introduced the setting of Gullet Cove and has all the cat and dog rules in. This came with 25 miniatures, but that included some duplicate models of were-rats and other bad guys and villains. What we've done, because we're expanding the hero roster so much, all of the core models are unique hero characters. So you're getting 23 completely unique cats and dogs and alpacas and goat and all the rest of it. And it will be, each one will be a unique character that Richard will be working on statting up and creating a full set for. So in terms of pre-generated character material, there is a lot of models in that set. And we are doing like some bad guy and monster models as well, but our focus is on making sure that we really expand out the range of animals and the options in terms of what people want to play, because we found that the there seems to be such a sort of passion for the heroes and the characters and their personalities and backstories that we really wanted to give as much of that as we could fit in.
Looking at what you are going to offer at the Kickstarter, you have a core book, a new one, or not a core book, but a book that explores these shifting islands, these disappearing and reappearing islands, and I guess also the artifacts, because you said that's an important part of why the adventuring animals go there. So are we going to get long lists of interesting new items and things like that?
So there's going to be 10 islands, I think, currently in the book, 10 to 12. And each island has its own unique magic item. But these aren't they aren't magic items with fixed limits or that you have to attune to, or, a certain number of charges. These are these work in a more holistic way. They give you long-term background benefits. They just boost you a little bit, because obviously removed from the island, the essence is less pronounced, but it's still there, and it kind of permeates the party or the individual carrying it. So we're trying to, in a kind of low-key way, offer a new take on magic items.
Das ganze Interview findet ihr in der Videobeschreibung verlinkt. Die Kampagne startet erst am 20. Juli auf Kickstarter, man kann sich aber bereits für den Newsletter anmelden und alle Infos auf der Kickstarter-Seite ansehen. Und das war's schon wieder für heute. Tschüss. You are the devil, and I know that when you're here, I've got to show that I'm the nicest, the neatest, the most lovely girl. 'Cause I'm in love. Because I'm in love with you, and baby, you know. You are so devilly, 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 and I'm so lovely, lovely, lovely. You make fun of me, fun of my love. You are so devilly, 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 and I'm so lovely, lovely, lovely in your head. Such a lonely girl, and you know that I'll be with you forever.